far too risky. Also, that turret on the arrows.
Yeah, I've noticed. So let's have some fun. So here we go. So into Vtol mode now. Bring myself back to center. Already back to center at like 13 Gs. Into my corkscrew and into my pressure. Right, so we're gonna let him balance out. We're gonna keep on dropping DPS some into Vtol mode as we close the distance. Yep, yep, yep. Now pulling out of Vtol mode to slide through that. You can see the thrusters clip like they grab there, eh? There we go. More damage on him here. A little bit down strafe to keep the circle extended and rolling into my shot. Into Vtol mode as I come across the corner. Up, up, up we go. Back into normal mode. And put some more pressure on him. And now we're going to fall out of the circle here. Let himself come around. Into Vtol mode. Push up, up, up hard. Close the distance because we flattened out our trajectory. Now once we're flat with him, then we kind of go back. Again, back into Vtol mode here. Up, up, up over the nose. Back into normal mode here. And slowly pick at him away to death here. Down strafe, extend the circle, let him come around. Let him come around, let him come around. Keep feeding him full of holes. It's all good, bro. I got size 2 guns, but I'll hit you for days. I'll hit you for days, buddy. Get some shield power back up. Vtol mode, flatten out. Back into normal mode because we got to chase him, close the distance. Into Vtol mode from the corner. Up, 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 up we go. Into normal mode. Normal mode here. Into Vtol mode. Up, up over the nose. Into normal mode again. Into oh, my bad. Press the button twice. Wanted to see that for myself just to verify where I am. So he's pretty hurt. My shields are coming back. Into Vtol mode. Up, up, up. Flatten it out. Back into normal mode. He's trying to, again, into Vtol here. Outside the turn rate into normal mode now. Extend the circle down and to the left because he's trying to get around us. Back into engines. Get that back up. Keep a 45 turns to keep our turn rate nice and high. And here we go. He's going to try and run.
The most amusing thing I find in that fight is that how the opponent is not jousting after getting one hit. Guide for that, please.
Vtol mode here to cut that corner through. Back into normal here. We're falling out of the turn, so back into Vtol. Push, push, push. And oh, nice. So now we need to extend the circle the other way. And now we can go into a push to get out. Because now he's finally behind us. Keep our speed up. Boop, 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 boop. Keep our speed up. Get our shields back up.
Shields.
Got a lot of shield damage. Slowly pick at away. Slowly pick at him to death here. There it is. Good fight. Alright guys, today we're going to look at the Anvil Terrapin again, but we're going to be talking specifically about Vtol mode and how that relates to combat. What it is, if I should use it during combat, and if you are going to use it during combat, when to use it. So Vtol, or VTOL, stands for Vertical Takeoff and Landing. So what we're doing is we're basically manually configuring our thrusters, like our main thrusters. On the Terrapin you have these 4 big main thrusters, and if you turn Vtol mode on, they articulate all 4 thrusters down so that during a landing sequence the vehicle can land, you know, parallel to the planet and keep everyone standing upright properly as they bring the ship in for a landing, right? It can also take off this way. Since most of the thrusters are facing the direction against the gravity, you'll be able to pull yourself out of the atmosphere with VTOL, and then eventually when you reach an altitude that you're good enough to change to rear thruster facing, then you can rear thruster face. Now, in this fight right here, we're fighting an Arrow or actually, I apologize, a Gladius. And we're in the 2 size 2 gun loadout Terrapin, right? So there are moments during this fight where we switch into VTOL, like we just saw just there. And what we're looking for is we're looking for angular moments during the fight where our momentum has arrested. So right now, like we're in it's a pretty okay circle strafe here, right? My speed's low enough that I'm actually able to keep constant momentum in that turn. And then there are points where the fight, I call this ovaling out, which will be in another video, but basically when the fight reaches a point where, again, we just went back into VTOL mode there to kind of level ourselves off. And what I want you to visualize is I want you to visualize 2 ships rotating around each other. However, if you watch carefully, the ships never are in a perfect circle. They're always kind of moving in like this elliptical pattern, right? So at one point you'll be at 250 meters, and then other points of the fight you'll be at about 400. And that's just because the momentum that you build up, it ends up making you fall out of your circle pattern and into a more oval. Because once you build up that speed, in order for you to kind of arrest your motion, it'll be it's just too much on the thrusters. You just can't arrest all that weight and all that motion to keep yourself in a perfect circle, right? So controlling distance is always a constant kind of play between what thrust forward vector you're applying and what thrust in reverse, in terms of what, when you're taking your foot off the gas pedal, essentially, right? But what we want to do is when we reach those points where the fight starts to fall away, so we're starting to head towards the fight extending or going into what's called an extension. What we want to do is we want to roll so that are orientated towards the direction of his orbit. So as we can see here, he's moving to our screen up and to the right. So right here, slam into VTOL, and we want to push hard upstrafe, hard upstrafe, because what we're doing is we would have extended on that joust, but instead what we've done is we've pushed our upstrafe, because again we've moved our thrusters to be perpendicular to the bottom strafe direction, right? So what we're doing is, as we're falling out of that turn, we're turning our thrusters to face towards the vector of upstrafe. And so what we're doing is we're sacrificing all our other thrust directions, and we're basically putting all our power on the upstrafe, right? Which is getting all our thrusters on the bottom of our ship to fire so that we push our ship up. And then once we've canceled his momentum, then we switch back to normal mode, because we need our thrusters to fight and move against him and make sure that we aim on target, right? So when you should use the VTOL is as soon as you see yourself starting to extend, like right here, he's starting to extend away, boom, we go into VTOL mode, right? That we didn't do it on this turn, but that's when you would do it, right? And the trick is to keep yourself within weapons range of the enemy while this is all happening. That's why we use VTOL, and it's also used as a good defensive strategy, because he might be expecting you to behave a certain way, and as soon as you get to a point where, boom, there's the splash, where you've basically got him in a spot where he might get around you, what you can do is you can slam it into VTOL, and then you can push hard upstrafe. And the amount of acceleration that you can get from the VTOL mode in the upstrafe direction is very high. I mean, I had this thing clocking at 13 Gs, which is almost as much as you'd see in like a Gladius or an Arrow. So you know, if you implement it well, you can close the distance. And I could say that this fight was very much controlled by the Terrapin. My shields were up most of the fight. We were able to kind of control our distance. He wasn't able to get behind us, and we slowly just kind of picked away at him until finally he went down. Now later on during the day, we did get attacked by 3 light fighters at the same time, so we had to get out of there. But again, right, it's tools in the toolbox, right? You know, if you find yourself in a Terrapin and shit's gone real downhill real fast, and you have no choice but to fight your attacker, you know, put that ship into Vtol mode. You know, put it into Vtol mode when you find yourself extending out. You know, push that upstrafe vector, and then as soon as you're no longer needing the upstrafe, switch back to normal mode, right? You don't want to stay in Vtol mode. You want to always switch in between. So what I did is I had a hotkey set, and as soon as I needed that thrust to change, I clicked the button, waited about 1.5 seconds, and then boom, I got that upstrafe, and up I went. Got the direction and the angle that I wanted, and then I switched back to normal mode, right? So tools in the toolbox. All right, guys, that was today's video. This was the Terrapin Vtol. Why do I use it? Is it good? And you know, when to implement it, right? So it's a tool in the toolbox for anybody. And this isn't just the Terrapin. The Drake Cutlass, we'll do one on the Drake Cutlass as well, has Vtol mode, and other ships as well have articulating thrusters. So it's definitely a tool in the toolbox for any pilot that wants to get the most out of their ship, right? So. All right, guys, take a look at Predator mounts if you're in the market for any kind of joystick mounts. It's the ones I use. I find them to be absolutely fantastic. I hope to see all of you guys out for stream. Thank you for all the love and support. I love what I do, and I love teaching, and I love enjoying the process of, you know, experiencing this game at the deepest level I can. And all the, you know, the positive comments and all the positive folks that have, you know, come by in the last little bit. It's been truly wonderful, guys. So thank you so much for all the love and support. I hope you enjoy the content. Hope to see you guys all up for stream. I was Avenger 1, and I'll see you next time.